Sounds good. Sports Card Strategy Show brought to you, as always, by marketmoversapp.com by Sports Card Investor. Murph and I want you to go there, and we want you to sign up, and we want you to use the promo code NOOFFSEASON, all lowercase, because it's going to save you 20% on the best place to track the data of your entire collection and learn who to buy low and when to sell them high. You get the historical graphs and charts so you can anticipate, like my man Murph does, what is the potential higher sale price of this card based on its historical data, if this player pans out or if this particular grade pans out. Let's talk about, let's stay on the vintage because you are Mr. Vintage, and we want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing selling cards right now. And I think it's important to talk about the actual act of selling your cards, because I think a lot of times we and other shows talk about what a card's worth, and we talk about what a card's worth like it's easy to actually get that money back, and it's really not. It's not like necessarily trading a stock where you have active buyers all the time on that market or on that platform, and there are multiple platforms. It's more like selling an antique. It's a little bit more like selling an antique.
Oh, that's an interesting parallel.
Than selling your stock, for example. And so, but what it's really like, and I think you'll relate to this, because you and I both have this experience professionally, is it's really like being sort of a B2B salesperson, where you're able to connect with people who are interested in your collection based on what players you have and what players and teams that they say that they're interested in. And if you treat it sort of like how you would treat a business to business sale, I think you can have a lot of success. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. So especially with the vintage. So staying on the vintage note, I talked a little bit about it earlier in the show opening, but I'm fascinated by like people's Instagram profiles, people's Twitter profiles, and then Facebook groups, being able to go in and actually see and just skim, all these different profiles and people telling you who they collect, who they piece, what teams they're interested in, what players they're interested in. And so that's the process I'm in right now. I'm doing multiple things. That's what I'm doing with my vintage, because vintage doesn't have the appeal necessarily that the modern market does on eBay. So with the vintage cards that I'm going back through, it's more of a long play. It's more of okay, let me get this thing organized. Let me get these pages built on my website where I can easily display all the players that I have, all the cards that I have for this one player, all the cards that I have for this one team. Even people have commented on posts, like somebody commented on a post that you and I did about the 1989 NBA Hoops box. And he said, hey, I just like this set. I'll buy any of the Hall of Famers that you have from this set. And so I'm like, well, shit, I've got, Dominique Wilkins and John Stockton and all these other guys. They're not guys that I want to keep. I don't want to keep my Hakeem Olajuwons of the world. I want somebody else who really likes that set, who really likes that player, to do that. So my point is that it's a grind. It's a long haul. It's more fun, I think, to organize and sell your vintage cards than it is necessarily a return on your investment for your time. It might be a good return on investment for your dollar if you already own the cards. So from a vintage standpoint, I did just kind of want to hit that, graded or ungraded. I think that